It has become apparent to me that every artist wants to know how to make more money with their music beyond relying on streaming services. The truth is, you know that you have to go direct to consumer, but it doesn't seem fun until you understand what I'm about to show you. So by the end of this, you will learn how to make your next release worth $100 or more to every fan. Now, if you've been concerned in the past that you just can't succeed without depending on streaming services, then I want to put those anxieties to rest, because you can do this. You just need the right person to explain it to you. Okay. For some of you watching, this is going to create a whole new world for you. And for others, it's just going to tighten up what you've already been doing. However, I just want you to understand that making your next release feel like fans should spend $100 by default will change your attitude about music creation. So you'll create from a place of offering the best value for the listener and receive the best return for yourself. When I was producing for independent artists in Atlanta, I would go to small performances and showcases to support these artists that I produced for. And though the entry fee was free, you wanted to support them because they put so much hard work into creating the event and the album and all that stuff. Some offered products for sale and some didn't. However, I noticed that those who did offer products for sale not only made a nice little chunk of change on the side, but they created an experience that made it well worth the money paid. Emotionally, I got a feeling like, man, I'm really supporting somebody who's on the come up. And then I felt good about that, okay? And when they offered me something of great quality, including the music, I felt I got my money's worth because of the product quality. And the crazy thing is that I still feel that way now. They figured out a way to create a product, build value around that product, and then offer it to me at different levels so that I wouldn't feel left out, even if I didn't get the most expensive thing. And this is what I'm going to show you today, okay? We're gonna make it all make sense. This is the $100 fan stack, Productize stack value, and tier the offer. I'm gonna show you how we break it down. So let's productize your music and explain what's going on. Because most of you all are shooting for $100 per day on Spotify, when in actuality, you should be shooting for $100 per sale. So distributors like DistroKid do what's called commoditizing your music, meaning your music is just raw material that is used for the production of other goods and services to be obtained at the market rate or the lowest price possible, so the producer of the other goods and services can get it and produce a new product for consumers like Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, you get it. And though you can make money from Spotify, the real reason why the music industry is so difficult for you is because you're not building a music-based product from the actual commoditized music itself, okay? This is the act of productization. And if you look at collectors, concert goers, and general fanatics, and other people who use music for different use cases, you will find the products that you need to create to reach your $100 a day goal. And once you begin to take note of how they're using your music, then it's off to the races. That's the key, the how they're using it. Now, as a consultant, I used to look at the typical things just like you that music artists could actually sell as just physical merchandise, clothing-based stuff and music and all that. However, it is important to look at the use cases of music itself and the purpose for buying it to find the keys to how you will make money in this business. So you thought you needed to create only, these two types of items, but in reality, you just needed to productize your music, because 50 fans times $100 will equal a $5,000 payday. You see what I'm saying? So now we got to stack the value, right? A lot of you guys think that after you created your physical or digital album, fans will buy it. But the truth is, it's still in its commoditized state. Currently, most artists think that if they create a physical album or a piece of merchandise, the people will buy it. But the truth is, they're buying it to have some type of access, achievement, or acknowledgement. And the reason why you have this perception is because back in the day, all consumers had to buy the music if they wanted to listen. And even if they only wanted one song, that's what they had to do. This is how mixtapes and bootlegging came in. This is how they were birthed. Too much product was in the market and not enough value was being produced, so the market was bound to crash, and it did, and then in walked Spotify 2006, 2008 to the US. So you see, if you keep producing D2C albums with just the music, you will keep getting low sales because people don't want the same thing that they could have gotten on Spotify for a monthly fee. You see what I'm getting at here? Now, I had to study what music consumers and connoisseurs wanted to know, and that's how they wanted it and the use cases for wanting it. Big difference. So here's how you're gonna build the value back into the music. One is create a tool, which is to use. Two is to give them identity so they feel like they belong. And then three is to create an emotional exchange to bring them into your world, into the music itself. And I know this because these are the things that I crave when I'm buying direct to consumer. Now, right now, you're probably thinking that you need a bunch of fans to pull this off, right? Well, actually, you only need to satisfy those 3 needs and you can keep selling all day long and twice on Sunday until your next project drops. I mean, the sales never have to go away. Just like if you think about it, Chance the Rapper's 3 Hat stayed along. It stayed on for so long after Coloring Book was done. And even before it came out, and people was buying them 3 hats for so long, man. But now we got to offer some purchase tiers here because currently in the direct to consumer movement, some artists want to remove themselves from Spotify altogether. However, they're only shooting themselves in the foot. I know, but remember, there's too much music in the market to be consumed and nobody wants to pay for every single album. So streaming is never going to go away. This is foolish thinking. It is, right? Now, the real reason why you're having battles with the Spotify idea is because you don't know how to tier your products. Spotify is for browsers, while direct to consumer is for supporters and fans. Now, supporters will pay a different price from fans and fans will pay a high premium, but you can't forget the foundation, which is Spotify. You have to sell to all 3. And if you sell to Spotify only, you'll be disgruntled. But if you sell to supporters only, you'll wonder why your D2C sales are so low. And if you sell to fans only, you'll get high kicks of dopamine and big sales every now and then, but nothing consistent. You see what I'm saying? So what we have to do, and this plays into the Spotify argument, what we have to do is take everybody that will pay a higher premium away from Spotify. That puts Spotify and all the streaming services back in their places. You know what I mean? Because after the CD era, they took everybody, all of those people that would have been purchasing CDs for every single thing they needed it for, and they took them all there. Now we got to separate all these people back out. And all you have to do is look at your favorite software or software tools that are out there and that want you to buy, and you'll notice that it's always in tiers because everybody doesn't need everything. Everybody does not need your pro version. And this is what happened pre-streaming era. The industry was selling everybody the pro version. Everybody don't want the pro version. So you got to craft your experience for the browsers, which is sort of like general admission, which is Spotify. And then you got to craft your product experience for the supporters, which is like a VIP ticket. And then you got to craft your experience for the fanatics, which is like a platinum pass, and all access pass, which is the super fan. And doing this will cause you to take much more time with your music because you realize that these different groups of people want different things. But when you do this, you'll notice that your fans and the whole culture around you will appreciate you more because you've considered everyone. You see what I'm saying? You consider all of your customers who would purchase from you. And again, if you're thinking that you need a bunch of fans, you don't. You just need to build for each one of these customer bases. And then as you begin to grow, they will buy. And the thing about these is they can stay around as long as you want them to. They never have to go away. But right now you got a choice. You can keep guessing and hoping things will change and people will come off Spotify, or you can take advantage of a system that's already working, right? The real question isn't shouldn't you do this, it's how much longer can you afford not to? And if you need help with understanding this method even more, join the Music Money Makers every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we talk about situations like this live. Also, join our masterclasses every month as well because we go further in depth to stuff like this. Because I get it, maybe you tried before or at least you attempted it and maybe it didn't work out. But that's not because you lack the skills to do it, right? You completed a low quality version of it, so congratulations. But even if you didn't have all of the resources, you still did it or attempted it, and that says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Problem is you were missing all of these core components all together and you weren't fully aware of the fans' use cases. That is 97% of the time, this is the problem. I'm going to say that. Okay. However, what these 3 steps give you is a way to build at your own pace with what you already have because you're more ready than you think. You just need clarity. Okay. You do. You just need a clarity about it. The biggest cost of continuing without a proper direct to consumer strategy is leaving thousands of dollars on the table every month. Think about it. If you just had 50 true fans that spent $100 on each of your releases, that's $5,000 that you're missing out on. Not to mention the emotional toll of feeling like you're constantly struggling to make streaming work when there's a better way right in front of you. But at the end of the day, remember back when we started this video, we talked about how most artists are stuck in the streaming mindset. You know what I'm saying? Making pennies per play. But now you understand that by transforming your music from a commodity into a valuable product and stacking the value strategically and then offering a tiered purchasing experience With options, you can create releases that your true fans will gladly pay $100 or more for. And this isn't just about making more money, it's about creating deeper connections with your audience and delivering real value that matches what they truly are seeking. Music money makers, if you make music, it's time to make money. You know what I'm saying? Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the Music Money Makers community, grab the 60-day record label course beneath this video to stack all this cash effectively that you're gonna make, and get some funding with that as well, because I got funding partners in there. Grab the free stuff, like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you next time. Peace.